Hey guys, welcome to Friday night at the shop. We're not at my shop, we're down at Glenn's shop. We're going to be working on this 91 Ford Ranger that we bagged it. It's got 4-link in the back and drop axle beams in the front and bagged. And as you can see, it lays pretty much lays frame. And what we're doing is this truck is rubbing the inside fender well when it's laid out and when they're dragging. So what we're going to do is cut the fender wells out and prepare to make new fender wells to go in this truck. Okay guys, Glenn is over here talking about being an exhibitionist or nothing. Told him y'all didn't want to see his bare chest. But we got this cut out kind of smaller than we're going to make it. Kind of rough. And it's going to be where we can get an idea about what the shape of the hump needs to be. And we're going to shape these humps and, you know, then make a final cut once we get the hump cut out. So that's as far as we're going to go on this tonight. Glenn got some 1/4-inch round stock, and this is 1-inch square that we're going to use to do this project with. The idea is we're going to get these fender wells built and in the truck, and then he's going to move the tank to behind the axle. We're going to have to raise the floor. There's enough room that we can raise the floor enough that the tank will fit underneath and still be able to be underneath our kick up for our notch. And the kick up is going to come all the way to here, and I think what we're planning on doing is putting the compressors behind a box that's going to cover the gas tank and the compressors and do away with the bed cover. This Glenn's truck, we're going to let him do the cutting. We got the old buzz cut out. Like I told y'all, he likes the lid ranges. We got the guard on there. He set his shirt on fire. Then get it cut off and come back. Alright guys, we got the got these laid out. This is going to be the driver's side. We're going to run up to the house and put some beads in this. We argued about this for a good long while about, you know, getting them the same length. And this is something that Michael Cthulhu uses. If you watch any of his videos, this is kind of crude compared to what he uses. But we wanted to drop this 2 inches all the way around the circle. Basically, you put 2 screws in, put a line between it, measure out 2 inches or whatever you want, put your pin in there, and then scribe the lines. But you need to have it up off the, we had it on 2x4 blocks like that one. So you see, you just drop that on there and you can scribe your line. Alright guys, we got one mocked up, got some beads put in it. I'm just using a 1/4-inch bar to kind of give it a round edge whenever we get it all welded up. And all I'm doing is taking and stacking the piece of steel on top of the bar and trying to cut it about halfway. And I'm just cooking it. I don't have a slip roll or anything, so I'm bending it, having to adjust it as I go, and that's where we're at right now. I think Glenn just said that the width is 54 1/4, so that means we can't go across the 4-foot section of a sheet of the 4-foot section of a sheet of sheet metal. We have to go the 8-foot way. So we're going to cut out this piece to begin with. We're going to dip down in here and tack it into the truck, and this piece is going to be a permanent part of the truck. guys, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but we're marking out to, this is actually going to hang down below that bar, and the other one's going to butt up to it. We're actually going to put another brace across in front of this, is what we decided to do, just to give this plenty of support. Alright guys, we kind of got busy and got it cut out and welded in, and we got this piece made. Took the gas tank out so we wouldn't blow ourselves up. Unfortunately, that's all we're going to have time to do tonight. Alright guys, we got this, we took and put laid the old piece of bed on the table, and took a piece of cardboard, laid it on the table, the factory sharp straight edge of it, and marked this out. And we're going to mark this and use this for a template to cut out the metal. And we're going to cut the metal to approximate size, and then we're going to try to make some bends. And what we'll show you how to do that. We're going to do that when we get to it. Be back in just a few minutes. I'm making them all nervous. Alright guys, we're just taking, and we marked it out, and we're just taking and working it out one piece at a time, basically. And I'm going to change over to a flat wheel and try to get those a little closer, and then we'll test fit and see how it looks. Alright guys, so we got this kind of cut and fit in place, and we figured where we want to cut our line, or not cut, what we're going to do, because my brake will not break this, it's too wide for my brake. What we're going to do is we're going to score this with the grinder right down the line. And you want to go on the top? Are you sure?
No, not positive. on the line might be better.
Yeah, it'll be better for it to be short this way than it will be for it to be long. If it'll be long, we'll have to take some more off of it. If it's long, it's not a big problem, because we're too long anyway on that end. So what we're going to do, we're going to break this, get it to fit in the truck, and like I said, we're going to score down this line just with the zip cut. We got to put the zip blade back in there and fit that up. Then we're going to do the next one the same way, and then we'll cut the top line straight across. Alright guys, this is all we're doing. We took and scored it. We're just clamping it to the bench. It's been fairly easy like this, so we're just going to grab it and try to shape it. I don't have to hold a bench. I'm going to have to put both hands on it. Yeah, let me get both hands in it. Alright.
That might be good. That might be good right there, Mike.
Yeah, I think see this is going to be 90, so that looks like it's good. It may need to come up just a little more.
I gotta take this off to do it, but
yeah, I think that looks good. We can bend it some more if we need to.
So let's pull the bar out. Let's look at it. Oh, that's you might say that's on the money.
Yeah, that's pretty close. All right.
Okay.
We're going to test fit it, and we're probably going to have to cut it off, and then we'll come back. All right, guys, I think we're going back as far as we're going to go this afternoon. It's really, really coming together. We've got to take a little bit more off of this edge and take a little bit more off of the front edge and do the body work. And I think that's what we're going to do. So what we're doing is just trying to knock down the rough edges. The bed liner should cover most of the humps and bumps in this. We're just going to get it like 85%, just enough that the bed liner will cover it. Like I said, we're going to shoot primer on it tonight, so you know you'll still be able to see it a little bit, but once you put that bed liner material in, it'll cover it up. We had a little hole over here to fix, to weld up, so I fixed that already. So I'm going to get over here and get to work on this side. And Glenn and I are just working on trying to get this smoothed out, and you can't see that. We're trying to get this little seam smoothed out, and it's about 85%, I think. I mean, advanced. Here, let me see that. Hey guys, there's Glenn's cover. You can see this is the edge he's going to put on it, and it's going to come back and be, he's going to put bed liner material, but he's just going to bolt it down. I know Gary from Gary's Car Stuff was asking, so it's just going to be bolted down to the frame inside the truck. I got to do a little bit more sanding right here. We're going to wait till in the morning. Glenn's already put the seam sealer down, and we got to do just a little more sanding here and there, and he's going to shoot some primer tomorrow. We're going to build that last panel to go on the truck, or at least start on it. It's going to be, we've talked about it a couple of times. What we're going to use is door hinges, just regular door hinges. You can use a piano hinge, but we're going to use a regular door hinge. Glenn had some hanging out in the shop. You know what to say, free is for me. Alright, so what I've done with this hinge, and I'm going to bring you over here to the vise so you can see it, is I straightened out one side, and then I bent the other one a little more so that when we lay it down across the back of the truck, see if we get it where y'all can see it, it will sit, it's going to sit across the back of the bed. We'll show you when we get to it, but I'm going to go in and straighten the other two. I'm going to show you how I've made these hinges to where the piece of steel will lay flat across it, and then we're going to get into probably making a box to go in it. So what I did, alright, there's the vise. Let's get a hinge. You'll notice the hinge has a side that has 2 rounds and one that has 3 rounds, and all I did was took the side that had 2, choked up on it in the vise right against where the bend is, took a hammer, straighten it up, and we want to make sure that we haven't caused any working problems with the hinge. And then all I did to get it to make back around was took a chisel, and we're doing this kind of slow, a little bit at a time. That side, and hit the middle, and go to the other side. And there we go. So that's how we're going to make them hinges. What Glenn wants to use is shocks like you would use on a toolbox lid. Just a toolbox lid shock. These are busted, so he's going to have to get some new ones. But what we're going to do is turn them 180 degrees from each other. Build the frame for the lid to mount to is going to be this much smaller, so we decided it was 1 1/8 inch off of each side that it needed to be. Alright guys, we got that all welded up. Glenn did most of it. He didn't want anybody to see him welding. He actually did a pretty good job. It's one of those things, if you want to learn how to weld, this is a good project. I mean, you know, this isn't something that's going to hold structure except for the hood. I mean, this lid. I mean, if it breaks, you just fix it. Alright guys, we went ahead and got the frame centered up in here and welded to the hinges. The bottom side of the hinges are bolted in. We're going to put another hinge, so there'll be 3. I wanted to get both of these 2 working like they were supposed to before we tack the other one in or weld the other one in. And like I said, this is going to be fully weldable, fully removable. May take and make sure, we're going to grind that down and we're going to make sure it's flat, and then, you know, put some weld on the other side to make sure it's good and strong. But the sheet metal is actually going to be welded to all of this. So I mean, this isn't the only hinge point, the only strength point. So yeah, we're going to get that done. I don't know how much more we're going to get done tonight, but we're going to get that hinge put in. All right, guys, I can't remember exactly where we left off. It's the next day. We're going to try to go and get this knocked out. We've got the neck in the gas tank. We're going to take a little more out of it so it sits a little further down, and it'll just clamp right in, which will be nice. That'll make sure there's no leaks. It'll be nice and rigid. This ain't going nowhere. You can see that this works really well. Needs a little oil on the hinges, but we ground down all of the welds smooth. When we get ready to weld everything up, I'm going to put a couple of tacks, or a couple of maybe 1-inch welds on each side on each weld to make sure that it's good and strong. But now we're going to cut out the piece of metal, and what we're going to do, we want to come back a 1/2 inch beyond the back of the bed to put that pinch weld molding on. It's going to be right at the width of the bed, so the pinch weld will hit the edge of the bed, and there's going to be actually a piece of weather stripping sitting down on top of this. We're going to come out beyond the bed 1 inch and break it down 1 inch, so it'll have a little bit of a handle to grab onto. And what we're going to do, we've got one factory edge left on this piece of metal, which is already the correct width. It may have to have 1/8 of an inch taken off of one end of it. It's not the right length yet, but we're going to take this factory edge. We're going to score us a line 1 inch from the edge with the cutoff wheel and bend it up. That's probably going to be kind of tough, so let's get into that and see what's going to happen. All right, guys, we got this scored up. Glenn and I are going to get over here and try to get this bent up at a 45. We've got it clamped to the bench.
1 foot on the table.
1 foot on the table. We're going to try to go to a 45 with it. We may have to score it a little more.
No, it's going.
Is it going? Hold up, let's see where that's at. Hang on, Glenn. Yeah, let's go up some more. We're going to have to go beyond 45 to get it there. Okay, hold up.
You need to score it.
No, it bent. I don't think it's at a 45 though. The hinges turned out really good. We were going to have to put the pivot of the top behind the back of the bed so that it didn't come in contact when the lid come up. So if we used the piano hinge, it would have had to been put right up here, and it was, you know, sat it up higher. I mean, you could have used the piano hinge. Like I said, Glenn had these, so we use these hinges. I think it looks fine once it gets painted up, and even with it down, I mean, you'll never see it going down the road. And I don't expect, if he went to a show, he'd never showcase what's under here anyway. I mean, he might, you know, open it a little bit, and then you'd still have a hard time seeing back there. So, I mean, it turned out good. Hey guys, welcome back to Faro Iron and Customs. Today we're down here with Glenn working on the mini truck again. We're about to spray this bed liner in, or Glenn is going to do it. I'm just here. I've finished up a little body work in the corners, and he's gonna shoot it. Matter of fact, I'll probably do some filming of him shooting the first coat, and then we'll come back after he's unwrapped it and close up, and that may be a couple of days. I think it's supposed to stay inside for 3 hours. 3 hours. It's supposed to stay inside 3 days and not be wet. He's got to come back and prime the pockets that we shaved out, so we'll get that in that video, in the end of this video. So what he's using is Raptor liner, the spray-in stuff. He's already painted one car with this. He did it by himself, and it turned out really nice. need to mix another one. Alright guys, there's the bed liner. And it covered up a very good amount of sand in there, places that I figured it would cover. It looks really, really good. I think it turned out really well. I'm thinking about making a video of all the highlights of doing this bed build. Glenn is supposed to be at Mini Nationals next weekend on this truck. I think he's going to be running around on the strip and stuff. And you may see him out there hanging on the show field somewhere. And guys, it's raining.